spread himself, and so did May. Thomas. Appeal for handball in the crowd. Barnes. Redknapp. McAteer wants it right side. McManaman. Berger wanted it played early, he gets it! Flag stays down, and the chance goes away. Expression, same as football of any nationality. Disappointment that that chance wasn't made to count. Left boot. Corner conceded. And looking back on the chance for Berger, how quickly Peter Schmeichel yet again was off his line. He's played really well in the second half, the United goalkeeper, and he's had to. McManaman. Redknapp. McManaman. Good tackle by Barnes. Excellent tackle. Giggs. Only McAteer between him and goal. He's chased by two others. And Thomas's tackle was not a good one at all. Giggs called for by the referee. Thomas called for, I think, by the referee as well. It was a jump in. And Giggs was down between two players. And the yellow card is shown. A bit of stoppage time to be allowed there. Beckham, Giggs and Cantona. Referee happy that that's 10 yards. United are not quite so happy. Giggs on the ball. Cantona, good strike, but wide. Curled away from the moment of being struck. Berger. Barnes. And again Barnes. Redknapp withstood the challenge well. Thomas. Beautifully cut out by David May. Anxious whistling from the crowd. Redknapp's ball in. May's head out. Mathieu. Cover by Beckham. Didn't quite do what he intended to do at the start. It took a long time before clearing that. And Bjerneby took his eye off the ball. Cruyff, foul. No, says the referee. Manchester United have the 3 points. Their manager has the smile on his face. In the end, the one goal decided, but they needed 3 fine saves from this man to make sure that they took all 3 points. Liverpool, who were slow to come into this early morning contest, woke up in the second half and tried all they could, but weren't successful. David Beckham's goal has won the contest. Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0.
I thought we played well in the first half. Our game plan was to go up and put pressure on Liverpool and to keep the tempo up, and I thought we did that really well in the first half. Whereas in the second half we sort of got more and more tired, and it was very difficult to keep the tempo up, and Liverpool just kept the tempo down and kept possession, passed the ball around very patiently, and waited for the chances to appear.
We've come to Old Trafford. I think majority of people think we were the much better team. So our gaffer said, don't worry about it. It's just a small glitch, and you know, we'll bounce back for that. But because, as I said, we always thought we were the better team, so it's just one of them days.
Now, was it totally Liverpool forcing Manchester United back, or did they sit back trying to contain you?
Well, if they think they sat back and tried to contain us, with all the chances they had, I don't think they did a very good job. So you work it out for yourself.
United deserved it for the classier defending, didn't they? They just soaked it all up, hit them on the break. Very nice.
That would be one point of view. I would say that Liverpool played very well, and United for them were moderate, but I've always said the name of the game is playing badly and winning the points, and that's what Manchester United did today.
You actually thought they played badly?
I thought they played moderately for them. I thought Cantona played one of his worst games ever for Manchester United. I thought the front players were all out of sorts, but they've got 3 or 4 players that produced the goods when it was necessary. I think that you look at Beckham, he'll take all the accolades and the plaudits. I think basically he's the dream ticket. Not only has he got the talent and ability, but he's also got the work rate. Works hard for the side, he'll get up and down for you, scored a good goal. But for me, right down the middle of the pitch, the goalkeeper, David May, the centre-back, and Nicky Butt. Nicky Butt was terrific. He was all over the place. We've got him circled here, and John Barnes is in possession, and what he's doing, he's just saying, right, I'm going to run past the 2 colleagues because I'm going to take it off him, and he does that. He overruns this. Great tenacity here in the tackle, but look at this for recovery play. Absolutely fantastic to get up and win the ball back. This is a great tackle in a defensive position. Time to perfection, ball into feet. This is where Manchester United was strong. Soak up the pressure, hitting the break at pace. Giggs is away, 1 minute in defence, it's an attack to the other end of the pitch. David May outstanding all afternoon. Another good tackle on Collymore. Gets up, he looks up, plays it over the top. The ball isn't perfect, but it's good enough to put Liverpool under pressure. But the best player on the pitch, and how many times have we said this, the keeper, Schmeichel. Most important position on the pitch. Collymore, good first touch, he's out quick, blocks it. Terrific save. And then again, McManaman comes forward. Berger, good run. We circle Neville here. He definitely plays Berger on side. Ball through, look how quick Schmeichel's off his line, saves his foot. And you can talk about anybody, but the most important position on the pitch for me is the keeper. You can't win anything without a good keeper. I think if they lost him due to injury, they'd have a struggle to replace him.
Despite all the pressure that Liverpool had, though, they missed that sort of cutting edge. They're missing Fowler in short.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they needed somebody to put the ball in the back of the net. There's nobody better than him. I mean, if you go to Old Trafford for any team to create 5, 6, 7 chances not to score, you'll be disappointed. If Fowler had been playing, probably would have put the ball in the back of the net. But I agree with what the Liverpool camp was saying. They won't be too disappointed because they played well. I think they're in a better position this season to challenge than they have been for the last 3 or 4 seasons.
Well, it was going to take a special strike to split the teams today, and we got that, didn't we?
It was a great hit. I think that Liverpool, looking at this, might be a little bit disappointed. It's just a launch up in the air here from Gary Neville. 2 players here we've circled, Thomas and Beckham. Matteo should head this clear, but he does all right to recover here. But Beckham's in front of Thomas. It's a great hit. It really is. And if you put him in that position, 20, 25 yards out, he's as good as anybody in the country at striking from there.
Everybody's been singing the praises of Berger and Solskjaer over the last few weeks, but they weren't the best 2 players on the park today, were they?
No, I thought Solskjaer was non-existent up front.
Yeah.
I thought Berger only played in patches, and both can play better.
Yeah, and he needed a right foot at one stage, Berger, didn't he?
Well, I don't know, if he puts that in the back of the net, then it's all right. I mean, he is all left-footed. He just snatched it quickly. If he had a good right foot, he probably would have played it with his right foot, and it would have been 1 each.
Thanks, Alan. It was a compelling match anyway. Now, less than 18 months ago, Blackburn were champions of England. They began today as the only club in the 4 English divisions without a single league win. Their visitors, Arsenal, whose new manager, the Frenchman Arsene Wenger, arrived to take over the helm at last. Our commentator at Ewood Park, Tony Gubber.
Blackburn's free fall, all the Premiership has taken them from champions to bottom in 18 months. And today, facing an Arsenal side who begin a new life under the studious French gaze of Arsene Wenger. But the new manager's first team selection is no different from what is customary. It's a familiar 3 at the back, 5 in midfield, Hanson and Wright up front. We shall have to wait to see if tactically or otherwise the new man has inspired any changes. Well, the emphasis on Arsenal has taken the spotlight off 18-year-old James Beattie, who makes his debut for Blackburn today after scoring 50 goals at the lower levels last season, and who has a reputation for being an Alan Shearer type of player. Beattie is in because Graham Fenton was injured yesterday in training. He partners Chris Sutton in a 4-4-2, and Blackburn post Shearer are still looking for inspiration and a first league win. Steve Dunn of Bristol is the referee, and both fixtures between these sides last season ended in draws. Indeed, Arsenal haven't won here at Ewood Park since 32 years ago. Ray, where do Blackburn go from here? That's 4 home defeats and 1 draw.
We go to Sheffield next Wednesday, next Saturday. Sheffield Wednesday next Saturday. I mean, that basically it's that. We take every game as it comes, and that's all you can do.
Now, Mr. Wengen's had a fortnight to look at Arsenal. You've had a fortnight to look at him as well. Can we ask the players what they make of the new manager?
I don't know. He's very direct and very forceful in giving directions to people and what he wants people to do. He gets it over as plain and simply as he can, and I think the boys are understanding it pretty well.
But he didn't appear today to ask you to do anything that Arsenal haven't been doing. I mean, the team that he picked was the team that we would expect anyway, and tactically you seem to play the same as we would normally expect you to play.
Yeah, but there were certain things where he wanted us to do defensively in accordance like to movement, to where the ball is, and moving as a team rather than individuals trying to close down and getting brought out of position and then they getting into you with balls into your midfield, and that's what he's been working on with us, making sure that we don't let teams get into us easily.
You're looking up the Premiership from the bottom now, though. It's a hard slog ahead, isn't it?
Oh, we always knew that it was going to be that after the first 4 or 5 games. But when we get all our senior players fit, we feel confident we can do it. But at the moment, we're going for a real lack of confidence.
Well, that really wasn't a classic today, but Wright's finishing was a joy to behold.
Well, he's always been a wonderful outlet. I mean, he's 32, but his pace, acceleration, and because he just gives them the option to turn defences around, and you know, once he's got a yard on you, then you say goodbye.
Well, everybody's talking about Liverpool and United and Newcastle for the Championship, but what about Arsenal? They're up there, and it's all, I suppose, built still on that great foundation at the back, despite the fact they're all getting on in footballing terms.
Well, it is. I suppose we've sort of been thinking, well, who's going to be manager each week of the season so far, and now we've got Wenger in place, and he's taken over in 3rd position. But you have to say the defence, all right, they're all in their 30s. But, I mean, if you're Blackburn, bottom of the table, they're the last defence you want to play against today, I can assure you, because they're old familiar people, but they're still hungry. I mean, Dixon there is the right wing back. Here you've got Keown. Adams, who was the centre of the 3 today and played very well in front of Glenn Hoddle, and I'm sure will be back in against Georgia. Then you've got Bald, who knocks it out to Winterburn. Now, they're all experienced players, but, you know, when they go into the tackle, you know you've been tackled. That's Tony Adams on Bohinen. Thanks very much. He's got the ball, though. Martin Keown, who's up everyone's backside, wherever you are on the pitch. There he goes. And then you go into the next one, and there's Steve Bold coming in with his left foot. So certainly there is no space at all for any attacker. And there's the unit, 3 midfielders in front of them, Platt here on the left, Vieira in the centre, and then, of course, you've got on the right-hand side Paul Merson, who worked extremely hard. Now, they're having to play across the field, and in the end, you get this hopeful ball in. And David Seaman, with the quality of him, again says thank you very much. And it was a hard game for Blackburn, but that doesn't take away the quality of Arsenal, who I think at the end of the season will once again concede very few goals.
Yeah. My first real glimpse of him today, but Vieira looks a quality player, this guy they've signed from...
Well, we criticise them, haven't we, for sort of their lack of creativity in midfield over previous seasons. Now, he is a youngster, $3.5 million from AC Milan, of course, in the summer, and Wenger, now that he's in place, seems to sort of pick him, I think, to play the centre role. Here he picks up on the left, but he has got that leggy style, isn't he? But he's got good touch outside of his right foot, to be fair. There's a lot to be done there. Yeah, it was a good ball, but great first touch then from Wrighty to put it away. But more than anything, he sort of holds the centre stage there, but has good awareness, knocks it in early, gets it both, and again with the outside of his right foot, perfectly weighted. So he linked up play, A, from the back 3, he got it off them all the time and knocked it back. Again here from a throw out from Seaman. Little dink over the defender there. Cheerio, he says, and out again, nicely weighted, and they're breaking. They just soak you up. I mean, Alan was talking about Manchester United. Arsenal are the classic counter-attack side as well. Their key will be whether they can do it at home, and also they haven't quite got the depth of the squads of the other sort sort of sides at the top, I don't think.
Yeah. As far as Blackburn is concerned, is it all about just the absence of Shearer and his goals, do you think, or is there much more to it? I mean, Harford was talking about injuries.
Yes. 1 point at home, 2 goals at home in 5 matches. I think that's the key. Any side that's struggling at the bottom have to win the home games, and unfortunately the crowd then sort of slow hand clapping, and that sort of, you could see the confidence draining from the players. They don't want the ball, and until they can sort that out, they are going to struggle. All right, Hendry's out, Coleman's out now for the season, so they've got defensive problems. Yeah. But any side needs to sort of score goals to take the pressure off them, and they're not doing that at the moment.
Okay. Well, now the first part of our roundup with Newcastle, one of the 3 teams vying for that top position tonight.
A new recruit arrived at the baseball ground this week, wearing boots just made for defending. Paul McGrath's CV is well known. Now he had to live up to it in demanding circumstances. He did well enough, and when he was bypassed, Les Ferdinand blasted wide. With 20 minutes left and the score 0-0, Marco Gabbiadini came on and unnerved Pavel Swinicek with his first touch. Then McGrath made his one mistake of the match. And as Poland discovered, Alan Shearer seldom hands out a reprieve. His 6th Premiership goal of the season, Newcastle's 6th successive win.
I think it was actually down to myself as well. Igor had said to move to the back, but the bounce of the ball did me, and Alan did what he does best and stuck it in the back of the net.
I think at the moment we're battling very well. We're putting a lot of effort in, and we're beating teams because we're nicking goals. We're not firing all the cylinders. We're not playing particularly well, but we're still getting points, and we're top of the league now. We haven't played well yet, so it must be a good thing.
Selhurst Park is never the easiest ground to reach and find a parking place. Latecomers today would have missed the chance to share a toast to a properly honoured manager of the month, and they might well have missed a couple of goals too. Kevin Pressman still had his mind in neutral when Efenakoku stole the ball to put Wimbledon ahead. But scorers beware. While Kinnear's men were still celebrating, Sheffield Wednesday kicked off. Exactly 10 seconds later, Andy Booth drove in the equaliser. It was the 3rd minute of the game. Surprisingly, the next goal didn't arrive until after the half hour, but the manner of it was in keeping with its predecessors. Robbie Earle given the benefit of naive defending. In the second half, Wednesday fell for one of Wimbledon's most familiar weapons, Øyvind Leonhardsen finishing off a Vinnie Jones long throw. But there were more bargains to be found here than at your average car boot sale. Next to pick up an unwanted trifle was Graham Hyde. That was 3-2. This wasn't the kind of football that earned Kinnear his award, and to compound matters, Robbie Earle put his hand up to Hyde's cross. Penalty. And that was where the script went wrong. Neil Sullivan saved splendidly from David Hurst. But a day like this wouldn't have been complete without a goal from Vinnie Jones, and it duly came to consolidate a Wimbledon club record, 6 consecutive wins in the top division.
I said it at half-time, the only way you're going to get beat today if we beat ourselves. You know, Wimbledon Football Club, don't start thinking that we're AC Milan, Man United or anybody else. We are Wimbledon Football Club, we're proud of that fact, and we have to go out of there and dig in and get results, and that's what we've done today.
Well, it's a great run by the Dons. Now, our third main game was at White Hart Lane, Spurs against Aston Villa. Spurs, incredibly, were looking for their first home win. Villa, for their 3rd success running in this fixture. Back into the Tottenham team came Chris Armstrong to reform his partnership with Sheringham. Villa were without Gareth Southgate, injured on England duty on Wednesday. But Mark Bosnich was back in goal for his first appearance of the season. John Champion saw this one.
Churchic, neat turn like a pirouette. Still it's Churchic, who can shoot powerfully. Here's Churchic, best effort of the game so far, which may not be saying a great deal. Good pass by Campbell. And it's won a throw off Ehio. Armstrong. Sheringham. That's best described as direct. Edinburgh's throw. Armstrong's flick. Sheringham's header on goal, not far away. Sheringham. quite get there. Armstrong might, and does. This is Fox. Nielsen looked like handball. Nielsen could score. Nielsen does score. It was scrappy, but it's a sweet moment for the Danish international. His first goal in English football. Now Townsend. Churchill. Caught ball watching and caught by Rule Fox. Armstrong begins his run. Sheringham to the left. Villa in retreat until Ehiog stepped in. Oh, but Villa have given it away again. They really are looking rather slapdash. Wilson. Uses Edinburgh as a foil. Armstrong. Oh, Sheringham had one chance. It hit Staunton. And Townsend's relieved to get it away this time. Campbell. Heavy Tottenham pressure now. Still Campbell's going. Sheringham. It'll fall to Sheringham again. This has been by far their best spell of the game. Less than a minute to go in normal time. Nelson onto Joachim. Nelson with the cross. Here's York. Always dangerous even with his back to goal. Staunton. Worth a try with that trusty left foot of his. Shaved the post.
And that was the final score, but the big talking point after concerned an incident which took place while Tottenham's Teddy Sheringham lay injured. All afternoon, the Spurs fans had been taunting Villa goalkeeper Mark Bosnich over this collision with Jurgen Klinsmann 18 months ago. The linesman had seen something, and he informed the referee. Apparently, Bosnich had made a Nazi-type salute to the fans, and the referee booked him for ungentlemanly conduct. Afterwards, Bosnich was interviewed by the police.
If you do make a gesture, whatever you do, whether you mean it as a joke or not, it can easily backfire on you, so you have to be very careful what you're doing. I didn't see what he did. Certainly quite a few people did, including the linesman. I don't know what has happened since the game's been over, but you have to be very careful what you're doing these days.
Mark Bosnich is an especially nice guy, and it's unfortunate that, again, the football stadium has given us an incident which really we don't need, but we'll try and put everything right. And there seems to be a lot to put right at this moment in time.
Well, later, Mark Bosnich himself called BBC Radio 5's football phone-in to say this.
What I'd just like to say is, in my opinion, I think it's a sad indictment made on society and football fans as a whole if something that was done total, maybe ignorance, or for me it was a little joke, can be taken so much out of proportion, and I'm so sorry if I've offended anyone. And the chap made a reference to losing people in the war. Well, I lost people in the Second World War and the recent one, the former Yugoslavia, so, and to the actual regime you mentioned, so he doesn't have to tell me anything. There was all I'll say is, like I said, I am under certain constraints, but I do believe in free speech and somebody be able to defend themselves. There was a mention made of one of their German players. Everyone knows who it was.
Yeah.
Just done something just meaningless, and I actually thought a lot of the crowd in the section behind me were laughing. Obviously, I've been mistaken, and it's been taken out of so much context, and I really am sorry.
The joke that misfired. Well, part two of our roundup now, starting with Chelsea, who dropped Vialli for their away match with Leicester.
By anyone's standards, Leicester have made a comfortable start to their campaign, but Chelsea's imports have fueled the Eurosceptics about their status. Once again, Chelsea started badly. Frank Leboeuf fouled Emil Heskey, and Muzzy Izzet's cross caused the problems. And eventually, an opening was created for Julian Watts at the far post. The volley said it all. Now, for 45 minutes, Gianluca Vialli had watched all this from the bench. Leicester's Spencer Pryor is still wishing he'd stayed there. A lovely turn, and Vialli had scored in a flash. He was at it again on the hour. A precision pass this time, and Roberto Di Matteo scored. The European Union restoring party unity, and of course the chance to capture it all on camera. And when Vialli turned again at the end of the game to provide Mark Hughes with Chelsea's third goal, dangerously close to offside perhaps, Chelsea has secured 3 points in the bag. Leeds United's slide down the table has been dramatic, so too has Forest's, but Leeds overcame a sluggish first half display. Gary Kelly's pass did the damage, Mark Hateley's flick-on was a beauty, and Rod Wallace's finishing top class. Goals at a premium these days at Ellen Road. But Forest had their chances as well. Ian Wone, who has been linked with Leeds, should have scored, with only Nigel Martin to beat. Sometimes silence is the best possible comment. Leeds sealed the game just before the end, no doubting the team's commitment and effort, clearly illustrated in this, their second goal. Tony DiRigo's cross was perfect. Hateley was again involved, and Rod Wallace really took the chance with some style, wrong-footing the defence. And if Leeds United's celebrations are anything to judge, doing the same to his team as well. But for the manager, the relief of his first win.
That's not going to fool me, it's not going to fool the players, it's not even going to fool the fans. And I would say to the fans, you know, there's a lot of hard work got to be done here. Hopefully we'll pick up points along the way. Hopefully we'll maybe get the injuries back. Hopefully we might have a new signings, but it's not going to happen overnight. Be patient, get behind us, and I can assure them they're going to get commitment here.
Both Everton and West Ham have been inconsistent so far, but there was more snap about the home team's commitment today. Joe Parkinson had a shot blocked, but Andy Hinchcliffe saw the opportunity, and Graham Stewart steered the ball past Ludek Miklosko. With 12 minutes left, Everton secured their 3 points. Gary Speed, signed for £3.5 million, really should be scoring goals from midfield more regularly than he does. This was his second goal in the Premiership campaign, and it was a beautiful strike. West Ham got a consolation goal after the most clear-cut penalty of the season. Andy Hinchcliffe knew he'd mistimed his tackle on Hugo Porfirio from Sporting Lisbon. Not a complaint in sight. And Julian Dix wasn't too upset either with that strike. Everton, though, by far the happier team.
The table, and for the first time this season, Newcastle lead the Premiership. Arsenal are now second, ahead of this morning's leaders Liverpool on goal difference. United are now the only unbeaten side left in the Premiership, though. At the other end, Blackburn remain 2 points adrift. Coventry and Southampton play tomorrow. Leeds are up to 14th after beating Nottingham Forest. And with his 2 goals at Blackburn today, Ian Wright is now the Premiership leading scorer with 8. He's 2 clear of Les Ferdinand, Alan Shearer and Fabrizio Ravanelli. Then comes Wimbledon's Efan Ekoku on 5. Well, live football coming up on Tuesday night, round 2 of the UEFA Cup for Newcastle. Their away leg against the famous old Hungarian club Ferencváros. Mr. Motson will be commentating. John celebrates 25 years with the programme today. Congratulations, Motty. He's preparing for Tuesday.
It was surprising, it was startling, and you could also call it sensational. What a goal! Bradford the scorer! More! Oh yes! And that is the first goal that Dennis Law has scored in front of the Stretford end this season. The spectacle, it was dull, drab and uninspiring. They're used to something more exciting than that. And I came in the boys' enclosure over there for 9 old pennies, and it was an extra threepenny bit to join your dad in the stand. I've got 2 ambitions. I want to see you and Barry Davis off.
And this is extraordinary. We're going to see the penalty spot painted, are we, during the match?
And from the fairy tale land of Denmark, they've come up here with a little goal-scoring gnome called Ronnie Eklund. It's never over until the final whistle.
That's Motty. Even the coat has become a legend. Man of the day has to be Ian Wright for those 2 splendid goals, but he won't mind sharing that honour with Damon Hill if Damon can do the business in about 4 hours from now. And we wish him luck. Good night.
Here's Ian Wright. Oh, good touch by Wright. Superb! Great strike by Wright. He is absolutely lethal.